Hello. Come in. Over.
I'm here.
Anyways,
Hi. Welcome back to Married with Gaming. I'm Jen,
I'm still Mike.
and today is the 1 year anniversary of our YouTube channel. So we decided that we would do a gameplay session.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. And that,
Let's see how this goes. So
yeah.
I'm going to be running a little mini game session from a little scenario that I made to celebrate our anniversary. And Mike will be playing. Who are you playing?
Uh, I don't know. Oh, I didn't name my character. Uh, hmm. Alan. That was a good
Alan.
name. You gotta write that down. Is that a good name?
I think that's a fine name. Let me see if I can.
Remember it? If you can what?
I was going to try to share it, but I can't figure it out. So tell us a little bit about your character. Besides, his name is Alan.
Oh, let's see. Um, when he's a young guy, but when he was really young, he was his caravan that he was traveling with was ambushed by goblins, but he was too scrawny to like they thought they could he'd kill right away, so they kept him as a slave kind of. But as time went on, before any adventurers came and rescued him, they ate his arm. So now he has the prosthetic arm, and
Okay.
he was inspired to become a wizard.
Nice.
I don't know if it's that nice, but
And he is in the Adventurers Guild.
oh, right.
And that is indeed the setup for our story tonight. You are a member of the Adventurers Guild, and they have an end of the year party that you've been invited to participate in. And they provide the food, and you get to meet some other adventurers who maybe have a little more experience than you do. So seems like a good idea, right?
Do they have different departments in this union or different union heads, or is that too complicated, or should I just move on and play the game?
You should just move on and play the game.
Okay.
Okay. So you head to the Smiling Pony Inn, which is where the celebration will be this evening. Once you arrive at the inn, you see it's pretty crowded. There are a lot of people here. And as soon as everyone arrives, you are greeted as a group by a Mr. Brickhammer. He is a smiling and jovial dwarf with a little bit of age under his belt. He is one of the operators of the Adventurers Guild. And he greets you as a group. Welcome, adventurers, to the Smiling Pony Inn. It's wonderful to see so many returning faces this year for the Adventurers Guild third annual year-end celebration. Thanks to our proprietor of this lovely establishment, Mr. Gonard, for allowing our party, and thanks to both Mr. Gonard and the lovely Mrs. Flowerbottom for providing tonight's delicacies. I hear Mr. Gonard's Dragon's Breath nachos are the region's best, and Mrs. Flowerbottom's crestfallen cupcakes are without equal. I hope you all have a chance to sample everything, especially since it's on the guild tonight. In addition, tonight we've got the stylings of Lyra the Nightingale of Hope as our entertainment. I hear she's got some new compositions that just might star some of you all, eh? And please remember before you leave to see Mrs. Carver to pay your yearly dues before you head out for the night. Now, before we get started, we do have one somber piece of business to get to. Let's take a moment of silence, and Lyra will give us a poem for our fallen friends who are no longer with us. And at that, Lyra, who is a human bard, she pulls out her lute, and you've heard of Lyra. She's quite renowned for being a wonderful lute player, and the Adventurers Guild tends to use her a lot, and she humors them by taking their coin when she makes ditties that involve the members of the guild, making them seem larger than life, a little more heroic than they actually are. And she pulls out her lute and she plays a very somber tune to remember the fallen adventurers. At the end of her lute playing, someone in the back yells out, "May their spirits soar!" To which the group replies, "To eternity!" And the room goes silent for a moment. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Brickhammer continues, bringing the mood back up and says, "Now, fellow adventurers, eat, drink, and be merry." And the party starts in earnest. Mr. Gonard, a gnome, the proprietor of the Smiling Pony, nods to his waitstaff, and they bring out the menus and drinks. What would you like to do?
Probably just hang out awkwardly. These people are like probably real adventurers, so that's what I'm just gonna do.
Okay. Well, if you look around the room, I mean, you recognize some people that you've definitely heard tales of and have seen in, fleeting. You don't know any of them particularly well, but you definitely see some faces that are well known in the adventuring world. And the bartender and the waitress, they sort of hustle about taking people's orders and bringing drinks and plates to tables.
Okay. I guess I will just kind of like lean up against a table or something and try to look really cool. Like
Okay.
I'm supposed to be here, but I really probably don't feel like I should be.
Well, with your
Just
robot arm, you probably look kind of cool and intriguing, I would imagine.
it was probably bought used off the secondary market, so it's.
A little dingy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, as you stand there and you kind of look around, you see, there are several people, going right for the alcohol and kind of foregoing the food. There are a lot of people that are choosing to order off the menu. The room starts to smell pretty delicious. You smell all the flavors. There are a lot of people eating both of the cupcakes and the nachos, which are the two big dishes of the evening that are highly anticipated. But you also see fried mushrooms and fruit plates and cheese plates and meatballs and other tasty looking dishes as well.
Just fixing up a character sheet. I'll probably just. I'm gonna wander over, look at the stuff. I'm gonna eat probably mushrooms and stuff because
Okay.
I probably got used to eating gross stuff like that from living in the Goblin Cave.
Okay.
Looking to see if they got any like grubs because
Um, they don't have any grubs. They do have deep fried zucchini sticks.
don't know what that is, so I don't eat
They've
it.
got giant meatballs. They've got a cheese and olive platter, and they've got the deep fried mushrooms that are filled with herbs and garlic, and then they've got nachos.
The hell kind of inn is this? We must be
This
in
is a party. This is a
the
catered party for
Forgotten
you.
Realms. All right, I'm gonna eat the olives and
Okay.
remark how they kind of taste like salamander eyeballs.
Who do you remark that to? Just yourself, or
Yeah,
okay?
kind of like I pretending that people listen.
Okay. Um, if you're kind of standing there, everybody's kind of bustling about. There's obviously some little cliques that are forming of people who know each other. Kind of a lot of chatting. But then the waitress kind of notices you standing off to the side, and she comes up. Oh, are you eating? We can bring you a plate of something more than just those olives. What can I get for you, good sir?
I'll just kind of look like I didn't know, if kind of like unsure if I was supposed to be eating or not. And I was like, I'll just stumble on whatever. Whatever's good.
Ah, well, the nachos are phenomenal. Of course, that's what Mr. Goddard's known for is his nachos. But the the deep fried mushrooms are pretty tasty too, if I do say so myself.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
or the
I'll
cupcakes
eat those.
if you're mine for something sweet.
Oh, okay. I'll eat those. Just being socially awkward.
Which ones? All of them?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I'll be out in a jiffy. And she hustles off.
Trying to figure out what a jiffy is.
Okay.
So I'll just meander around the room, kind of like do the thing where you just kind of hang out behind other people talking and nod like I'm part of the conversation.
Okay. So you're just kind of gonna make the rounds and mingle without really mingling.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you can definitely, catch some conversations. What kind of things are you interested in?
um, just
Are you gonna just stop by whoever's talking, or are you gonna gravitate toward things that catch your interest?
no,
What
I
kind of
avoid things. I
what
avoid things that catch my interest.
Well, I mean, what kind of topics are you gonna be more likely to head to?
Just if people are speaking of exploits of killing goblins, I kind of like those stories because
Okay. Well, you can wander around the room and um, you hear there's a group off in the corner, and one of them is talking about a goblin ambush. Saying how, ooh, that goblin ambush, man, it was close. I thought I was a goner, but boy, Hemlock over here, he saved me with a well-placed fireball. And you assume Hemlock there is a mage. Hemlock is a halfling.
they remind me of goblins. So I'll try to, but I'll just kind of just listen in, and it's like then maybe uh, did anybody get taken?
What do you mean? Like, are you asking? You're
Yeah,
asking him?
yeah.
Oh, oh no, 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 no. We managed to survive because of Hemlock here. He's the real hero of the day. I'm pretty sure I would have been killed, but he came in with this fireball and just, whew, those goblins were done for.
I'll just nod and be like, kind of just have that distant look. they don't always kill their prisoners.
Oh, they don't often take prisoners. Were you a goblin prisoner?
I'll just kind of look down, look at my replaced arm for a time.
Oh, goblins do that, huh? He gestures to your arm.
No, they don't make artificial arms. They cannibalize or eat people.
They ate your arm?
Yeah, and some of my toes, but
Whew. You must be one tough guy, man. And Hemlock is
no.
kind of looking at you with a kind of a look of respect. About this time, the waitress comes back over. Oh, there you are. There you are. I've got your food here. And she's got a platter with some nachos, with the mushrooms, and with 2 delicious looking chocolate cupcakes.
Oh, well, take them and go. Hey, thanks.
Oh, sure. Enjoy, enjoy.
Kind of being awkward about it
You
because
can there's a lot of people up, talking with each other, and there are some tables scattered here and there that with an empty seat. At one there's some long tables, there's some round tables, and there's the odd empty seat here and there if you wanted to find a place to sit.
yeah, I'll just find any place to that's close.
Okay. All right. You find a place to sit and you kind of sit down to enjoy your food.
Yeah, and I'll set it each individually because I don't like my food to touch. Because goblins always served it in a bowl that was always touching each other after they spit in it.
Okay.
So
Okay. And about the time you sit down, Lyra, the ludist, she takes the stage, and uh, several people yell out, the name of a song or two that they want to hear her perform, and she begins to play, kind of a mid-tempo song, nothing super rowdy, but also nothing super slow, just kind of a mid-tempo song, and a lot of the patronage kind of flock over to kind of hear her singing. And as she's singing, you've never heard her perform before, but you're not super impressed. Every once in a while, she just hits a note that is kind of sour, not quite right. So you're like, I don't know if she's such a great bard, but most of the people here don't seem to notice it.
um, I'll eat my food and then just kind of mutter to myself. It reminds me of like my dog that would howl noises.
Okay.
It's like,
As you're eating, she sings a couple songs, and the crowd is starting to really get pressed. It's like a lot more people have shown up at this party than were here at the beginning.
mm,
And you don't know if it's because there's so many people or if it's um, you're just starting to feel a little, more awkward. But you feel like the tavern is like it'll get really hot, then it'll get really chilly. Then you have the food is starting to smell kind of off, but you don't know if it's the food or the bodies because there's so many people in here. You're not really sure, but it's just starting to get very uncomfortable. It's starting to get a little stinky. The temperature's fluctuating. So you start to get a little bit more uneasy. than you were before, even though you were already socially
I'm gonna
awkward.
pocket the one cupcake that I have left after I ate,
Okay.
and kind of look to leave, like to exit.
Okay.
It's too many people.
So this is a pretty good sized tavern, and you start heading toward the exit. And as you're going toward the exit, you feel like there's so many people in here um, that, and you notice some of them are starting to get a little bit agitated because they're probably feeling about like you are. So tempers are starting to kind of rise a little bit. And you make your way over toward the door. Um, and before you get there, the all the light in the tavern just kind of is put out. The tavern is just plunged into darkness. And you're kind of pressed in among all these people, so you don't really have your bearings, so you kind of just stop because all the lights are off. And that lasts for a good 45 seconds. And then the lights come back on, but instead of being the torches suddenly flare back, lanterns kind of flare back up, but instead of being this kind of whitish, yellowish light that you're used to, everything is tinged blue.
Hmm. I look. I'm just gonna look around, see if the more experienced adventurers react or what they're doing.
Okay. So a lot of the other adventurers are also looking around bewildered. A couple of them are so deep in their cups they don't even know what's going on. Um, but several of them, like yourself, are looking around trying to figure out what is going on here. Why is this light blue all of a sudden? A couple of people are calling out, "Hey, stop playing tricks. Which mage did this? Which mage are you?" And they're calling out saying which mage is playing tricks on us.
Or which is which.
Which is which. I love that book. Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll just kind of just find somewhere where I'm not obtrusive and more kind of towards the wall and the door. Kind of rack my brain for my spells that could be helpful.
Okay.
Um, and this generated character that I made doesn't really have that. Anything, no light spell, nothing. Do have nope, nothing I'm going to use. So I'm just going to observe.
Okay.
Maybe take a peek if I can, like lean over, take a peek through out the window, whether it's shuttered or not.
Okay.
See if there's anything going on outside.
Okay. So when you came in, because this is kind of the year is end, so it gets dark a little earlier in the evenings. You came in and it was about dusk. So you look outside, and the windows did have like shutters and that are open on the outside, and they have some curtains on the inside. So you kind of pull back the curtains, and you're surprised to see that it's still dusk, even though you've been there for quite a while. And all around the outside, it looks like um, there are multiple swarms of insects kind of hovering around the doorway and the windows.
size insect? Like
Like normal sized insects, nothing like giant, nothing like that. Just big swarms of insects.
ants, moths, spiders.
All of the above. Of course, because there's insects, there's also bats. Being in and eating insects.
Um. Oh.
Can't really if you listen really carefully, you can kind of hear the buzz of the insects, but it's kind of loud inside the tavern as well.
Your camera got really blurred to me. That's a. Anyways, I will just. I don't have anything. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay.
They're not coming in, so.
No, they're not coming in.
I'll just sit in a chair then and just put my hands in my lap and watch what people do.
Okay. You sit in the chair, and where you're sitting is you're kind of in sight of the window. You're kind of next to the window, and you're not right next to the door, but you're pretty near the door. You can see the kind of directly across from you is the bar, and then off to the right is a doorway that you assume leads to the kitchen. You see the waitress come in and out of there with dirty plates, full plates, all of that stuff.
If there's a hole in the crowd, I'll make my way to the kitchen.
Okay.
Kind of just bump through people. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Okay. Did you happen to, in this quick character you made, did you happen to get like a perception?
I have a wisdom score.
Okay. Go ahead and
No modifier.
Roll a perception.
So just wisdom, I guess. 13.
Okay. As you're going through toward the kitchen, you feel like it's a lot less crowded than it was a few minutes ago. You feel like the crowd has started to dissipate somewhat, and you see, there's a lot of like half-eaten plates of food. Cupcakes with just a couple bites out of them, a half tray of nachos that just seem to have been kind of abandoned. And in fact, if you look a little closer as you're walking back, you notice there are a lot of people's belongings that have just been kind of placed and laid down.
They've been abducted. I keep it in the kitchen so I can get out of here. Looking to leave.
Keep what?
Go into the kitchen. Someone can get out of here.
Okay.
This looks like trouble.
Okay, you make your way to the kitchen. And you go into the kitchen, and there's like it's a big kitchen. It's a large kitchen, and you can clearly see where Mr. Goddard does all of his food prep, and particularly the nacho prep. There's a large, colorful, big bowl for nacho dip over there. There's peppers and some chips. Then on the other side, there's a big stove that looks like a big baking stove, and you can see tons and tons of cupcakes lined up on top of that. There's a storeroom kind of off to one side of the kitchen, and then there is a back door that is shut.
That's exactly where I head.
Okay. You head to the back door. You can get there.
Fling it open.
Okay. You go to open it, and it doesn't seem to have a handle.
Kick it, push it, bump it,
Okay.
twist it.
Bop it. Uh, you do that, and it doesn't seem to have any effect. You can't seem to get the door to open. The waitress comes in and she's like, "Hey there, don't kick my door. What are you doing?"
I need to get out of here.
"Oh, well, let's open the door maybe instead of kicking it." And she comes over to open the door for you. "Well, that's odd. What happened to the handle?" And she seems quite perplexed.
Um, is there any other way out of this place? I'll try to go through the window. Does the windows open or no?
There's no window in the kitchen.
Is there any other way they bring in things like a firewood box or any other ways that there's in and out without I'm not going to climb up a chimney.
There is like a little half door where they put firewood in and stuff, but that is all.
I'll grab her and say, hey, where did everybody go?
What do you mean? There's lots
People are
of people
gone.
here.
People are disappearing.
Oh, I don't think so. They're probably just going home. And the little half door that's used for firewood is also appears to not have a handle, not be able
No.
to open.
Do you have a root cellar?
Oh, we do? Sure. Why?
Maybe I can hide in there and not get taken. I'm going to try to go there. Look for the root cellar. Where's it at?
Okay. It's off of the kitchen, but it's a little door flap. It is like the size of a closet. It's not very big, but you can go down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll go down to the root cellar and I will try to hide. Um, and, you know, think of what spells that I have memorized that I can use.
Okay.
Ready like my firebolt or something.
Okay. Well, she thinks you're a little strange, but she runs off to do her work. And how long are you going to stay in the root cellar?
I'm just going to listen for a little bit
Okay.
to see
You
if
can
I can
hear
hear.
like the faint sounds of the party continuing. You can still hear Lyra performing, but then every once in a while other people pop in and sing a song or two. There was another bard that you saw that was for sure up there, and then you hear some drinking songs every once in a while. So it just you also hear the same like when the bard played and you heard the kind of off sounding notes, you still continue to hear that. And you also hear a lot of people calling out that they want some more food. And then you hear almost like a whisper every once in a while, but you can't quite make out what it is saying.
And so as I'm hiding there, and my thought process is that there might be some kind of weird magic afoot. There might be something that's messing with time because of the the time not changing outside. That people are maybe getting taken between ticks of time or some crazy fantasy alien abduction kind of thing. So that's why I kind of was freaked out and hid. But as I'm trying to gather myself, um, trying to like go through what spells I have, um, I'm like, I don't want to be in a dark hole and die. So I'll come out of the cellar, the root cellar.
Okay, as you come out of the cellar, um, just as you're exiting from the cellar into the kitchen,
Mhm.
you take a step and the world kind of goes fuzzy and then it's like you're looking into another kitchen. This one is a little bit, it looks like the same kitchen you're in, but it seems more extravagant. And the food there is like, it's still nachos, but it's super nachos. It's still cupcakes, but it's giant cupcakes. And that only lasts for just a couple of seconds, and then you're back into the Smiling Pony kitchen again.
Do we
And
want to go
and
ahead?
as you come up, now the light in the tavern is no longer blue. It's orange.
I was thinking we could take like a sponsorship break from nachos because that's what you made earlier, and that's what seems to be pushed in this adventure. You get money every time it's mentioned
Yes.
from yourself. Okay. All right. Anyways, I'll just blink and take that in again for a second. So, what do I have? Is it like a double vision? Is it like my vision flicks between two realities?
It feels more like that. It feels more like you're flicking between two realities.
Do I? Can I? I'm gonna guess that this might be some kind of fey magic. Maybe the whole place is an illusion. No, I don't like it. I'm gonna cast detect magic.
Okay. What's the range on that? Like 30 feet?
I don't know. My book is in my bag. Which version?
We'll make it. It doesn't matter that much. All right. So in the kitchen, well, the first thing you notice when you cast detect magic is that the entire kitchen has a very faint magical glow.
Can I just give me the origin of the magic? What school or anything like?
You can't really tell. You can't really tell what
The
school,
warmer of this enchant.
and you can't really notice a focal point. However, you do see there, so there's above the baking area, there is a row of cookbooks. A couple of the books glow a little bit brighter. The platter that some of the majority of the cupcakes are on glows a little bit brighter, and the bowl for the nachos glows a little bit brighter than anything else. That's what you see in this room.
Okay. I'm gonna go back into the room and just start looking around and see what I see.
Okay, into the main room of the tavern. Just like in the kitchen, the entire room has a little bit of a glow to it. And you see a few people that have a little bit of a glow, but it's not any brighter than the room. It's kind of the same, and they appear to be mostly elves that have a little bit of an aura to them.
Is this from what I know? Do elves always have this aura to them, or
You've never heard of that.
I mean,
I mean, that's just a quick glance what it looks like. Then you do see a lot of items that are glowing a little bit more. This is a room full of adventurers, so you do see like some packs that are glowing, like they probably have magic.
what about the things that seem to be left behind?
Things that were left behind.
Mm-hmm. That you said people.
You do see a cloak that has a little bit stronger glow to it. You see a backpack that looks like maybe something inside of it is glowing a little bit more than others.
But these don't look like items that are being in anyone's possession. Is that correct?
Those two don't, but some of the other things, like you can see some of the other adventurers are carrying items that are glowing. Like one person has gosh, I can't remember. I think it's a
I
scimitar.
will. I will. I'll just. What are these people doing? Is that person still playing the stupid lyre?
Not at the moment.
Yeah. I'll go up. I'll go up in front of everyone then on this. If there's a stage or raised area,
Yeah, there's kind of a little raised stage.
and I'll look around and then kind of go.
Okay. So
And
several of the people in this room, like you, are clearly feeling kind of uneasy and are feeling like something's going on. And so it's pretty easy to get their attention. When you're standing up there in front, you notice that to you, it appears that the number of people here are about half of what it was when it was at its fullest.
I'll just continue with. May I have your attention, please? I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I've noticed there's something very odd going on. Um, at this gathering that some people seem to be disappearing. Some of their things are left behind. Yeah, maybe we should figure this out.
Okay.
I'm not very experienced in these things.
Okay. You do that,
And then I'll finish up with a thank you.
okay, you do that, and you do have several people are like, yeah, yeah, something's not right here. You you do see some notable people who are also concerned, and one of them is a orc barbarian that you've heard of. If you've seen him before, his name is Borin. He's like,
I'll speak
yeah,
work.
yeah. Did you look outside? It's still light out there. And at that, several other people will go to the window and look outside.
I'm a little distrusting of monsters, so I'll see if anybody else speaks up besides the monster.
Um, so one of the people, let me just tell you who you see. You see a woman that you know to be a rogue. She seems largely unconcerned. Um, she's known to be very what's the word? Like happy-go-lucky. Like she's generally kind of just a go with the flow type of person. She seems largely unconcerned, maybe a little curious. Then Boren does look pretty worried. There's a paladin. Um, he's pretty stoic, so you can't really tell if he's disturbed or not, but he's definitely watching and looking around to see what might be happening. There is a half-elf magic user. She is kind of talking to the waitress. She does look concerned, but she also looks like she's kind of just having a good time conversing.
Oh, I see what's going on there.
Yeah, there's a druid
Gross.
who is staring out the window.
Probably considering licking it or something.
No, I don't know, maybe.
I've no
There's
interest.
there's a human who's a hunter, but he kind of looks interested, but you think he's had a few. So he's not real stable. And then there's another wizard also, um, who does seem concerned like you. And he seems to be kind of wandering about the room looking at the discarded items more than anything else. And then there's the bard that was singing. She's still there, and she has stopped playing largely because you feel like she's pretty freaked out. She looks visibly upset, and there's another bard with her, a tiefling, who is kind of talking with her and trying to kind of calm her down. And then you've got the innkeeper, Mr. Gonard. He looks visibly upset.
Yeah, I will extricate myself away from the bard and the demonic thing and go and
Okay.
talk to the wizard.
Okay.
And what is he? Is he human?
He's human.
Good. What?
Wow.
Monsters ate my arm.
I guess.
I'll be like, hey, you notice anything?
Oh, yeah. I haven't seemed to find a source of it yet, but this seems like some sort of enchantment or illusion.
Yeah.
What have you found?
I detected that this whole place is shrouded in magic. Some of the elves are giving off a vibe. Some of the food's giving off a vibe. It's like there's like two worlds overlapping each other. I'm something
two worlds, you say?
Yeah, I'll be like the kitchen looked really nice, and then it looked like it regularly does. You know, I'm something of a wizard myself.
Oh, are you now? I too. I'm a wizard. Gideon's the name.
Alan, the odd-armed.
You have
It doesn't
heard...
really roll off the tongue, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, you have heard of Gideon, and he's actually known to be a pretty good guy, and does some pretty good magic. He's a little eccentric, though.
Who isn't? So, just...
Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just going to stumble with words for a minute.
So, where did you see this crossover between worlds?
Well, I've seen the different version of the kitchen in the kitchen. And then I noticed things just have a weird aura, because I can detect magic, if you didn't know. It's kind of a thing I do.
Of course.
It's a simple spell. I'm sure you've learned it by now.
Oh, yes, quite so. Well, was there anything else of note in the kitchen? Did you do any exploring there? Did you search for anything?
The doors wouldn't open. They had no way to get out, which concerned. And I'll look over at the woman that served food. Concerned her at first, but now she's not really concerned.
She is concerned.
So
you can see that she is concerned, but maybe not as much as you would have expected. Yeah.
So
well,
the elves seem kind of suspicious because they radiate a faint glow of magic. And I'll look around and look, side-eyed at the elves in the room. You know what they say about fairies and eating their food?
Well, elves often have a faint magical quality to them.
Well, I knew that.
I wouldn't be too concerned about that, per se. Now, if they're not an elf, and they had a magical quality, then that would be more concerning.
How can we test them?
Well,
don't they
that's a
bleed
good question.
Blue or something?
No, I don't think so.
cast sleep spells on them.
Maybe we can watch them. Oh, well, that you could try that, but elves are often resistant to sleep.
That's the point.
Ah. Oh, well, you could try that. That's a good idea.
Why would you say it's a good idea? And I start getting suspicious of this person.
Well, because it is, of course.
Hmm. I will just then sit down and fold my hands and just start watching people.
Okay.
Especially him.
Okay, especially him.
Gideon,
Gideon.
because
Hmm.
the one who leaves books in people's in rooms.
Okay, well, Gideon is going to head off to the kitchen. Since you said that's where you saw the weird thing between worlds, he feels like that might be where to go. He's like, I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna go see what I can see in the kitchen.
Of course
Do a
you
little
are.
bit of digging.
Okay. Kind of keeping an eye on him.
Okay. Are you gonna follow him then, or?
Now when he's watching, I'll wait till he gets out of my eyesight and then just kind of get up and kind of creep over there.
Okay.
And then look back to see what everybody's doing, especially the thief, rogue, whatever it is, that wasn't concerned.
Oh, the woman
Mm-hmm.
who wasn't concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She is actually doing quite a bit of well, she's eating a lot, which is surprising because she's quite small. But she is actually performing some acrobatics. You don't feel like she's performing for anybody, but she seems to be just practicing them because she can.
Okay.
And you'll notice that she's enjoying, she appears to be enjoying practicing her acrobatics, and she will do like a flip over someone sitting in the chair, the drunk guy. She's particularly enjoying kind of doing flips over his chair, doing spins in front of him. So you don't know if she's trying to like get his attention or if she's just trying to mess with him. You're not really sure. But she still seems not concerned. And she also she's eating a lot. She seems to be eating the Left Behind nachos that people who left their nachos behind. She's eating them every time she walks by. She'll grab a nacho.
Okay.
And then do you follow Gideon into
Yeah.
the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay. You go in and he turns around. Oh, hello there.
Oh, I was just What's up?
I just thought I'd look around in here since you seem to have seen an alternate kitchen. So he is kind of just poking around the kitchen and searching.
I'll see what he sees. Kind of look over whatever implementations are for baking or cooking, and just kind of absentmindedly mess with them for no reason, just because I'm nervous.
Okay. So what are you doing exactly?
Messing with like the spatulas and stuff, just kind of like
okay.
the spoons and
playing with the utensils.
Just for something to keep my hands busy. So yeah, I don't look like I'm there eyeballing him.
Okay.
But I would assume he knows more wizard stuff than I do.
Yeah, he starts flipping through some of the cookbooks.
Okay. How long has it been since I cast a spell? Because
How long does it last?
10 minutes.
It's probably been about 10 minutes.
All right. So I will just look what he looks at and just try to if he knows anything different or if his eyes linger somewhere.
So he pulls a book off of the cookbook shelf. It doesn't really look like a cookbook. It looks more like a journal. And he starts kind of flipping through it. Interesting. And he's reading a passage.
Aren't cookbooks just journals on how to cook things?
They are, but this is interesting. Read this. And he hands it to you. And you see an entry. This is definitely someone's journal from baking or cooking, and it says, "The cupcakes. They tasted different that day. Sweeter, richer, more alluring. I couldn't resist. I ate one myself, then another, then another. The world shimmered, colors became brighter, laughter louder, but then the laughter faded, replaced by an emptiness, a longing. And then I woke up in my bed a day older, but somehow I felt different, hollow."
We've all been there. All right. I'll see what was in these cupcakes. Did they substitute anything? Did they? Who makes these cupcakes?
Oh, Mrs. Flowerbottom makes them, from my understanding. They're one of her specialties.
What's that? What's a flower bottom?
That's the name of the baker.
No, where are they at?
I don't believe she's here tonight. I think she dropped the cupcakes off.
Well, since we can't leave, we can't go find this person. I'll look different pages in the book to see if I can deduce anything. Like, substitute, you know, some kind of pinch of fairy dust for frosting or whatever. See if there's, like how people make notations.
Yeah, you're not seeing anything unusual. Just that one entry is all that stands out to you, really.
Well,
Now there are some cupcakes. There are still several cupcakes in the kitchen, and on a couple of large platters. And you do remember that the platters did have a slightly stronger glow to them.
what had a slightly stronger glow?
The platters that the cupcakes were on was one of the things that you noted that was glowing.
So the platter did, or not, or the
Mhm.
items?
Not the cupcakes themselves, no, but the platter that they were sitting on.
I will. Oh, I'll go over there, take the platter, scoop things off, and look at it. What do you make of this? And I'll look at it, hold it up in front of me, turn around, look at the bottom of it.
Okay. On the bottom, it says "Made in China."
Yeah, toss it, toss it. I don't know what the heck that is.
Okay, this is a porcelain platter, and if you toss it, it does hit the floor, but it does not break.
I will go pick it up, look at it again. As I don't know where that place is. So
You can't see anything that nothing physically stands out to you.
I will ask Gideon, does this look like magic to you?
All
Oh,
right.
whatever. But not the cupcake.
Gideon takes it.
Makes no
He
sense.
looks at it. Boy, yes, it does seem to have some sort of enchantment to it. I can't really tell what kind, though. I don't know if it is its own enchantment. It almost seems like it's infected by another. Like an enchantment is it's absorbed some sort of enchantment from something else.
I'm gonna
Fascinating.
hold back. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna throw it on the ground as hard as I can.
Okay? Throw it on the ground as hard as you can, and it does chip, but it does not break.
See, it's not invulnerable, just as I suspected.
That generally is the case for porcelain items.
Well,
Interesting that it didn't shatter, though. Perhaps the enchantment is somehow protecting it.
I will toss it and cast the cantrip of firebolt at it to blast it.
Okay. You toss it and cast firebolt at it. The firebolt does hit it. It doesn't really leave a scorch mark or anything, but it clearly hit the platter. And this time when the platter falls to the ground, it does break.
The dishes are done.
And about that time, it breaks. Mr. Goddard comes in. He's like before. He's clearly like he looks kind of worried or nervous, but then he asks, "Oh, what's going on in here? Why are you breaking my dishes?"
He was investigating. I was just assisting. So
Gideon says, "Oh, good barkeep. It appears that the platters were enchanted."
are they merely absorbed in enchantment?
And Mr. Goddard's like, "What do you mean enchanted? The platters? All the platters?" "Oh, no, 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 no. This can't be. This can't be." And he kind of starts pacing around the room, kind of wringing his hands. He pushes all the cupcakes off the platters, puts the platters in the sink like he doesn't want to use them.
I mean, I did inspect them, but they were. I mean, I well, to test the strength of the platter, since it was enchanted, I decided to throw it on the ground, and it didn't barely affect it. So yeah, I don't know what that means.
Hmm. Gideon takes one of the cupcakes that the Mr. Goddard had taken off of the platter. He takes one of those cupcakes and he takes a bite. And he kind of chews for a second. He gets kind of a quizzical look on his face. And he's like, hmm. And he goes and he gets the platter. Um, that Mr. Goddard had put over by the sink. He brings it out. He puts the cupcake he took a bite of on that platter. And he looks at it, inspects it carefully, just kind of with a quizzical look on his face. You don't see any change, but he's inspecting it. And after a moment or so, Gideon picks up that cupcake and takes a bite of it.
I was like, whoa, don't do that.
And he says, it could be that the platter serves to enhance the flavor of the cupcake.
What? What in the Narnia are you talking about?
This cupcake has, it just tastes a little bit better after being placed on the platter.
Platter of taste
And
enhancement?
Mr. Goddard comes over and he says, no, 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 don't use this platter. And he takes the platter away from Gideon. He puts it in the sink. No one should use the platters. And he's still looking very upset and worried and wringing his hands. And so he's pacing back and forth. Gideon is kind of lost in thought, like he's trying to figure something out, can't quite do it. You are standing there looking bewildered. And
Yeah.
the rogue that you saw doing the acrobatics earlier, she comes in.
Okay.
She kind of skips in and she sings more nachos, and she takes the big bowl of nachos and she takes it back out into the front room, and you're all still left there bewildered by the platters. I just knew something bad was going to happen. I just knew it. Mr. Goddard is saying to himself.
I will try to, bring in all my, like seriousness and things and grab him by his shirt and it's like, what have you done? What have you done?
Me? It wasn't me. I didn't do anything. You can't blame this on me. And he starts kind of crying, bursts into tears.
Like tears. Oh no. Tears get you nowhere.
So
I would
Gideon's going to play good cop here, and Gideon says, "Oh, my dear Mr. Goddard,
wait on the
why
bag.
did you think something would happen tonight?" Well, it all started. It all started yesterday. You see, I was prepping for the party. I was making my dishes. I was serving meals as usual, and it was a quiet night here at the inn. Only a few patrons, and some of the adventurers were here too, and in and out. But I was, it was a nice night, and three of the patrons they disappeared. One moment they were there, and then they were gone. I didn't know what to do, and I thought, it's a fluke, right? Something has nothing to do with me. But then when I saw people start to disappear tonight, I got so upset, and I don't know what's causing it, but it's not me. I didn't do it. Please find what's causing this.
I think there's more to your story than what you're telling.
I promise there's not.
What about this journal?
Oh, that? Well, that was from the previous owner. I don't know anything about that. I mean, I might have read it a long time ago, but no one's touched it in years. this is so bad, so bad. And he wanders back up to the front, leaving you and Gideon in
Well,
the kitchen. Hmm.
should we kill him?
Well, that seems a little harsh. I don't think the poor man has anything to do with this. Did you see how upset he was?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
It does appear we need to find the source of
The
whatever's
whoever
happening,
made
though.
the cupcake journal lady. Flower bottoms. Let's go. But we can't leave, so it doesn't mean anything. He did something.
Gideon walks back out to the front of the tavern.
Look around the kitchen some more, see if there's anything that seems worth taking my attention.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in specific?
I'll inspect all the cookware or the prepware as much as I would know about that.
Okay.
We'll go with those spoons again. Are any of those spoons actually a wand?
No, they're not. You don't find it. You're not finding anything else that looks unusual here.
A wand of confectionation.
No.
Stir stick of deliciousness or something.
Not that you see. Everything looks pretty normal.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just go and go out to the main room, go in front of everybody again, kind of clear my throat, and explain what's going on.
Okay. So as you walk back into the main area, you see that now the number of people here are about a quarter what they were. There's maybe 15 people here, so not too many. And pretty much all of them at this point, except for the guy that's half out of it, drunk in the corner, and the rogue, pretty much everybody else looks worried. The rogue, meanwhile, or acrobat, is sitting on top of one of the tables in the center of the room with the large bowl of nachos, just eating and smiling.
So, it appears that our host, point him out, has sabotaged the food supply and it's causing people to disappear.
It wasn't me! It wasn't me! I promise it wasn't me! Someone has done this to me!
Did you make some sort of pact? Deal?
No!
Bargain?
No, of course not!
Where-
And all of the other people in the room are kind of looking back and forth between him and you, kind of watching this play out. A couple of people, one being the bartender. The bartender steps up, says, "Hey, now, leave Mr. Goddard alone. He didn't do anything wrong. He's as upset about this as you are. Let's not throw accusations."
So, why?
Can't you see the man is upset?
Yeah. Yeah, so do people who get caught.
No, something else is behind this. Mr. Goddard has nothing to gain by sabotaging the party.
What if you made a deal with some strange wizardry entity demon thing? I look for that tiefling bard.
You look for the tiefling bard.
Literally a demon. Half demon, demon blooded.
I haven't made any deal. Why would I do that? This is my home. Why? Why would I do that? It has not been me.
That's for you to answer.
The tiefling bard kind of looks back at you and glares at you. And she says, something's been off since the beginning. Didn't you hear the music?
Yeah, it sucked.
The music felt off.
Yeah.
It was sinister somehow. There's something else at play here. I just can't put my finger on it.
Very odd that someone of your heritage could detect sinister things. Infernal things, perhaps.
It's not infernal, whatever it is. It is not infernal.
Agree to disagree. And what's you? Where's the bar that was playing the stuff?
She's not here.
Where's your little friend?
I don't know what happened to her. She's gone.
Or was
And
she
you can see her lute that she was playing laying there on the stage.
Was she ever really here? I'll pick up the lute. Look at it.
Okay.
Does it have any weird characteristics? I'm not like an expert at all in musical instruments.
Roll an investigation.
Well, I don't really have. I actually have skills, so I'm a 1. Intelligence, I assume, right? Plus.
I think it is. Yeah.
A 23 total.
Oh. Now you don't have a lot of experience with, musical instruments, but from what you can tell, this is a really nice lute. It seems like it's super high quality. It also, when you look closely at it, does look like it has some gold inlay on it. And as you're inspecting that, the other bard, the tiefling, she kind of steps up and she says, "You can see that's a fine instrument. She would not just leave that. Something has happened. We must get her back."
I will strum it probably out of tune.
You do strum it. And surprisingly, though, when you start to strum it, you're like, well, I can actually play. This seems like I can play the lute for a few seconds. And then that discordant noise kicks in again. And the rogue sitting on the table with the nachos, she starts to laugh.
I'll say something funny.
As she's laughing, you notice that the light now, the torchlight, the firelight, the candlelight, it's flickering like a rainbow of colors, different colors. And when she stops laughing, it settles down into a pink this time.
Kind of confused. I will continue to play and sing badly. And I'm just gonna.
So the rest of the people in the.
Just to test it out.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna try to figure out what they would do if I sang out of tune and if anybody walks out on me.
Yeah, they will. No. They kind of do. They kind of ignore you because everyone's attention is now pretty much focused on that rogue. Okay, so everyone is, like I said, staring at the rogue. And like some people are looking at her quizzically, some condescendingly, like, why are you not taking this seriously? And other people are kind of accusingly looking at her. And in the silence, the druid that you had seen earlier.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "No, I saw Anya talking to a strange creature yesterday. It was all shimmering and small, kind of like a mischievous child. Anya seemed oddly entranced by it at the time.
Well, this would have been information that you should have brought up earlier, I guess.
I didn't really think anything of it at the time. But now that she's acting so oddly,
Oh, this is odd for her.
well, I mean, I think Farkas would know better, as they often adventure together, but he seems a bit indisposed at the moment. And she kind of
Certainly.
nods over toward the ranger, who looks at this point to be passed out on the table. I mean, she's always been known to be a bit of a charmer and a bit of a wild card, but this does seem different, and that comes from the half elf sorcerer that you'd seen earlier.
I will sling the leer over my shoulder and come off the stage and approach the weird acrobat rogue.
Weird acrobat rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anarthicana rogue.
Okay. As you approach her, she kind of darts across the room away from you, hugging the bowl tightly that she's eating nachos out of.
A little help, people. Apprehend.
Say that again.
I said a little help, people. Apprehend. And I'm gonna cast a mage hand and grab food out of the bowl. Start grabbing them out, taking the nachos away.
Okay. At this, when it appears that you're going to make an attempt to somehow detain her, right?
Not me. Other people. Telling people other people detain.
The paladin, he steps up, and he also is approaching Anya, ready to detain her. So we're gonna roll initiative.
8. 8.
Okay. Some NPC rolls here. Your name is Alan, right?
Yes, Alan, odd armed.
Alan odd-armed. Nice. Okay. Okay, so you start to cast Mage Hand, and at the time that you do that, the lights once again go off. All the flames that go out, everything goes into darkness.
My old friend.
And in that darkness, you hear laughter, almost childlike laughter, And the laughter seems to come from various locations around the room. And Caspian, then, who is the paladin that is also trying to help you, he had the initiative before you. So Anya has an 18, Caspian has an 11, you have an 8. Just so you know. He well, you can't really see what he's doing, but you hear, it sounds like he pulls out his sword. Are you going to continue to cast Mage Hand?
Well, yeah, but I can't direct it because I can't see.
Okay, but you're able to cast it, and it's there in front of you. Everyone else in the room just is kind of, no one else has really entered the fray yet, but several people, the druid, the barkeep, and the tiefling, have all, you can hear them kind of shifting around. So you're not really sure what they're doing in the darkness, but they are shifting around. And then top of the initiative, the lights come back on. This time they are a bright white light. And Anya has placed herself on top of the bar, where she is gleefully laughing and says, "You can't stop it. You'll never stop it in time." And she giggles and does, just some little flips and dances along the bar.
Okay.
And she has her rapier out.
Well,
Caspian then grabs his holy symbol. He's got his great sword is kind of half out of his sheath with one hand, and then with the other hand he's clutching his holy symbol, and it looks like he's saying a prayer. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna use Mage Hand to try to snag those nachos.
Okay, you send the Mage Hand over toward the bar and the nachos. You are able to grab a nacho with the Mage Hand. Mm-hmm. And Anya then says, "Oh yes, eat the nachos. Eat them all. They're so tasty."
I'm not gonna eat them.
Anything else?
No, I'm gonna throw them on the floor.
Okay. So at this point, the kitchen is off to the side of the bar, so there's no like where for Anya to go behind the bar. You kind of have her trapped in this little area. So you're kind of standing back a little bit. Caspian's like halfway to her, and then Seraphina, who's the other bard, the tiefling bard, and the druid, Alara, they are kind of coming around the sides of you, and they're approaching her as well. They're going to enter the fray at this point. The innkeeper, Mr. Gonard, he is kind of back by the door of the tavern, just wringing his hands, clearly distraught. The bartender is standing kind of near you. And then everybody else who's in here is kind of watching wide-eyed as this scene unfolds. Okay, so back to the top of the initiative. Anya on the bar. She says, "It's too late,
top of the bar.
It's too late, Midnight will be here soon." And then
I'll ask what she's Anya about. What are you going Anya about, Anya?
Well, the eternal party, of course. Where do you think I've been sending everyone?
I don't know. Where?
You also notice that as she's talking, she is glowing more and more and more brightly. You notice that she's moving more erratically, more like she's making very strange, odd movements at weird times, punctuating it with little dances and little flicks. And she is appearing very quick. And she's staying on top of the bar, but as she's doing these little dances, she's very fluid and graceful, but at the same time, very, 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 very fast. And her hair almost looks like it's becoming translucent. Oh, where did I send them? Well, to the best party, the one that never ends. We'll have so much fun there. And she's seemingly unbothered.
I look around at everybody else like, what the fuck is this person on about? Party sounds cool. I like the party.
It is Caspian's turn. So he pulls the great sword out.
Whoa.
And approaches the bar, gets right up next to Anya and says, "Who are you?" and holds the sword threateningly, but does not attack.
I'll be like, I see you try to detect evil.
He asks, "Who are you?" And Anya says, "Just Nim." And does not seem to be bothered at all by this huge paladin with a great sword standing in front of her. Your turn. What do you do?
Cast mage armor on myself.
Okay. That's good. Next, we have Ilara. The druid. So she comes up and she casts Thorn Whip, which lashes across the bar, barely missing Anya, who dances out of the way and giggles. Anya/Nim. And then Seraphina. Seraphina does not have a weapon on her. So she is she's just moving in close to the bar, getting ready to try to grab or stop Anya from getting away. Anya's friend, Farkas, who's the guy that appeared to be passed out, he lifts his head up and yells out, "Leave Anya alone!" And it's the top of the initiative. And Anya, again, not attacking. She does have her rapier out. She's ready to defend herself, but she's like, you'll just hurt her. You won't hurt me.
Okay.
And she kind of dances around. And it is Caspian's turn. He decides to go ahead and take a swing with the great sword. And that sword barely misses Anya and lodges into the top of the bar. So he backs up and heads over to where he left his stuff. Looks like he's going to go get something else. Your turn. What are you doing?
I'm not real sure. Just to see if it'll do anything, I will cast Magic Missile.
Okay.
Uh, 4 points. That's what it would do.
Okay, they strike. They strike her. And she does take 4 points of damage.
And I'll be like, knock this off.
Oh, you're hurting her. And she continues to giggle. At this, Seraphina comes in, and Seraphina says, Nim, is it? And Nim / Anya kind of giggles. And she says, why don't you stop this now and leave Anya? She did nothing to you. And Nim says, but I never want the party to end. So Seraphina decides to try to restrain Anya, so she's going in for a grapple on her. And she misses completely. Anya just gracefully leaps out of the way. I don't know why you want me to stop. You know the party that lasts forever is the best party. It's the best kind of party. And she pretends to look at a watch that she doesn't have. Oh, it's almost midnight. Once midnight hits, it'll all be done, and the party will be forever. I'm so excited. And it is Caspian's turn, who goes over, and it looks like he is getting his shield. Your turn.
I will try to do something weird. I will try to play the lyre and sing a song about there ain't no party like an Adventurers Guild party. But Adventurers Guild party must eventually stop.
Okay. Roll a performance or persuasion. Either way. Whichever.
Hmm. I don't got any of that. What was it? What was the choice?
Performance or persuasion?
Oh, that's. I got a 10.
Okay, what are you wanting to do by playing?
Convince her to stop.
Okay.
You know?
So the loot that you're playing is a +2 to your performance. So you rolled a 12. But why? She sits down, kind of cross-legged, and she looks kind of quizzically at you, and she says, "But why? Why must the party stop?"
What was that?
She asks you why. Why must the party stop?
Well, you know what they say. You can't party all the time. Party all the time.
But why? It's so fun just thinking about midnight coming, and then when midnight's here, don't you just want it to stay midnight forever?
No.
But why?
Uh, I don't know, but it's just like it can't be midnight all the time.
Caspian, the paladin, he comes up next to you and he says, "Well, because, Nim, it's the anticipation. Once midnight's here and it's midnight forever, we would never have anything to look forward to again. And it's looking forward to it that makes it fun."
Or it builds anxiety.
Okay, are you trying to help or hinder this negotiation?
Yes.
Roll another performance check, but I want you to add
Mm-mm.
a +4 because
Based on charisma, I'm not skilled.
that's okay.
I rolled a 14.
+4
So that would be 18 using math.
because Caspian and Serafina are trying to help you now,
Good
and she
luck.
only rolled a 4. So, oh, but I don't want the party to stop. Do I have to make it stop?
Yes.
And Caspian also says yes. Are you sure?
I'm 90% sure. I'm not a real expert to parties, but I know that they don't go on forever.
Are you sure it'll be fun next year too?
Because if you don't end the party, you can't start another one.
Are you sure we're going to have a party next year?
Yes. 100%. Maybe 112%.
Okay, I'll tell you how to stop the curse.
It's a curse. Oh shit.
Everybody has to make a circle around the nacho bowl.
That sounds sus.
But you have to wear party hats.
Technically, a wizard hat is a party hat.
Mr.
Just
Mr.
a
Goddard, in the tavern he says, I have party hats! And he starts passing them out.
Jesus. I will wear the party hat under my wizard hat. My wizard hat's so much cooler.
Now, who can sing? Seraphina says, well, I can. Okay, you have to sing this song. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out. You do the hokey pokey and you shake yourself about. So, Nim teaches Seraphina the hokey pokey song and says, all of you have to do it with her. Everybody, put your right foot in. So, Seraphina starts to sing. Do you go in the circle and participate in the hokey pokey?
Against my better judgment.
Okay, so everybody's in a circle except for drunk guy in the corner.
Oh. Just like gym class.
Are you wearing your party hat?
Yeah.
Okay. Seraphina's singing the hokey pokey. Everybody's participating. As the song is building and it's going on and on, it's getting closer and closer to midnight. Nim says, now, the most important part. As soon as it's midnight, everybody laugh! So the crescendo comes, it is midnight. Do you laugh?
Hee 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 hee.
So everybody laughs. And at that, the nacho bowl cracks. All the lights in the room return to normal. With a poof, the room is once again full of people. And you see out of Anya, kind of, she doesn't really collapse, but she kind of, she can just kind of like, there's like this big letdown of energy, like she's exhausted. And you see the ghost-like image above her head of this fey creature that looks like a child, has two big white wings on its shoulder blades, is wearing a diaper,
Ugh.
and laughs.
Nasty.
Happy New Year! And then it fades off into nothingness. And you've successfully saved the New Year's party for the Adventurers Guild. Unless you want to do anything else, that is the end.
I'd like to take anything that's not guarded.
Well, it's kind of chaotic. It's a little bit of a chaotic scene
there's
right now.
Discarded cloak, a backpack, and I have that really cool leer. So I'll be like, hey, gotta go. Expected. This is a little late for me.
Well, since you didn't say you were taking the backpack earlier, that backpack is now gone.
Oh.
Someone else got to that. But you can certainly have the cloak.
Oh, they're left. They're discarded. So.
And also, Lyra, who had the loot, she comes back with all the other people. So she's going to be looking for that loot. Are you going to try to hide it from her?
Since it was slumped over my back, I'll just kind of throw that cloak over my shoulder and leave because I'm mad at these people for messing up my night.
Okay. You can steal the loot. That is the end.
And I make no plans to come back next year because
No
nonsense.
more Adventure Guild parties.
Yeah, I just.
Okay. All right. Well, that is the end. So we'll end it here.
Adios,
Mhm.
suckers.